Saquon Barkley came out with a new documentary this month. It's called Saquon, and you can find it on Amazon Prime Video. He used this documentary as more as of this therapy, him expressing himself. Basically, this documentary, he basically recorded this through a 5-year journey from 2020 all the way to 2024, I should say, early 2025. And in this documentary, he showed a lot of vulnerability. He showed a lot of vulnerability. Saquon Barkley, even though he's playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm a lifelong New York Giants fan, he is still one of my favorite running backs in the game, even though he's playing for the Eagles. And yes, they're NFC East division rivals. But I'm not one of these sports fanatics that takes rivalry to the extreme measures to the point where I'm gonna harm someone. And that's happened. I don't go above and beyond in terms of insult a player when I'm in a stadium, an arena. I just, at the end of the day, it's sports and they're humans at the end of the day. They have lives and stuff like that. And in this documentary, you get to see behind the scenes of many things that he go through when he torn his ACL, then had to deal with an ankle injury, the contract negotiations, and conversations they had with the Giants general manager and even with the ownership. What I like about this documentary is that he didn't hold anything back in the sense that I like that he shows some vulnerable side in terms of how he felt dealing with these injuries. I like that he came from a two-parent household. I feel that for the most part, kids, they thrive in this world when they grow up in a two-parent household. Whether you agree or disagree, a father's presence in a household, it is very, very crucial. And God bless his parents, especially Saquon's mother, for sticking by her husband, especially when her husband was going through so many trials and tribulations. So I like the fact that Saquon Barkley grew up in a two-parent household, and his father was the one who implemented him in his mind that when things get tough, you can't quit. You have to stick with something because there will be a lot of tough times that you're going to go through in life. And him implementing that to Saquon when he was young, early in his life, set the tone for the rest of his career and his life going forward. So Saquon Barkley, that's why you see Saquon the way he is today, in the sense that he is tough, not only mentally, but physically. And that's another thing. He has an impeccable work ethic. You see this man running up a hill in 101-degree weather. I mean, if you look at his quadriceps, his legs, I mean, he that's one thing about him. His work ethic is impeccable. And he is just one of those athletes that he is tough not to like. He is a leader on and off the floor. He's always speaking up for his teammates, for the team, does great work in his community. I also like in his documentary the relationship that he has with his kids. And his daughter is basically, how can I put it? She strikes me as very charismatic, but in a very loving, beautiful way. In this documentary, obviously, he has a son too, but the daughter is the older one and she can speak more. Their son, Saquon Jr., is a baby still. But I like that. I like that so much in this documentary that you get to see much of him being a family man. And I just love seeing a bond between a daughter and a father. I love seeing that. And that's one of the things that made me smile about this documentary. What I didn't like about the documentary is that although it's probably not his intention, but he does come across as being very bitter in the contract negotiations. The ego talk in the sense that, oh, I'm the best running back in the NFL. I like seeing players that have self-confidence, but the thing about Saquon is the year that the Giants were competitive, which was 2022, he was one of the biggest reasons why they had success that year. But when you come off an ACL injury and ankle injury, and you have a big season like the way he did in 2022, it's understandable why the front office would be skeptical to give him a max deal because when it's your contract year, athletes they tend to go all in so they can have leverage. I don't know. For me, I just didn't like so much of the ego talk. Oh, I'm the best running back in the game, or I feel that I'm the best running back in the game. I should get this amount of money, etc. At the end of the day, the way I look at things, you're still a millionaire at the end of the day. You have a home, you have a family, and I don't know. I just feel like the older I get, the more I cringe when I hear athletes saying that I want this so much amount of money. When at the end of the day in life, you don't need to have so much. But that's just my opinion. So I didn't really like that aspect in that documentary that he comes across that in a certain moments in the documentary, he comes across as bitter towards the Giants, complain a little too much. So you there's some good things and some not so good things that I saw from the documentary. Another thing that I liked about the documentary, which I can't forget, is when he came to the Eagles. When okay, he has family in Pennsylvania, so therefore that's another thing I respect about Saquon is that he wanted to be close to family. He didn't want to he when he makes these decisions to stay or play somewhere else, it was not just about him, it was about his family as well. So he's from New York. He wanted to stay in New York, but that didn't work out. So he went to Philadelphia and he wanted to stay close because I believe his grandparents are from Pennsylvania. So it makes total sense. And he did go to Penn State, um, played under James Franklin. And it was weird seeing James Franklin knowing that he got fired from Penn State. But he's all about staying in the area where his family is. And that's something that I respect. So when it comes to the Eagles, he there was a particular game that he had a chance to break some sort of record, and the coach came to him and said, "Do you want to go for it?" And I'm paraphrasing, and Saquon basically said, "Nah, let the young guys eat." I like that. That's tremendous humility and leadership that I saw it from Saquon, and I respect the hell out of him for that. Like I said, Saquon Barkley is just one of those people that he's just hard not to like because of so much good that he does, not just on the field, but off the field. And I am happy that he found success with the Eagles. I'm glad that he won a Super Bowl with them. And this is coming from a Giants fan. So a lot of Giants fans are looking at him as a traitor, um, wishing him ill will, but I don't see it that way. At the end of the day, it's sports. He made a business decision for not just him, for his family. And people, they got to do the research before they criticize someone or they got to fully understand where a person's coming from. You don't know what a person might be going through. You don't know the entire story. So, but I'm just going by what I saw in the documentary, and I say you should watch it, judge and see for yourself. But Saquon Barkley, like I said, he's one of my favorite running backs in the game. And all the success that he's having and the fact that he won a Super Bowl on his birthday, that puts the cherry on top. So everything, worked out the way it had to worked out for him. And I just hope that he continues to stay healthy, continues to be durable, and continues to have success. My review for this documentary from 1 through 5, I give it a 4.3 out of 5 stars.